Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to the YBO podcast. This week is episode 8, and I am sitting down with twin number 1 himself, Mr. Kendal McGuire, as we continue this short little storytelling mini-series. So let's just hop on in, and I hope you all enjoy. Kendal, nice to have you again.
Nice to be here, man.
We'll just get the ball rolling. Do you have any?
I've got some fun hunting memories.
Okay.
Exciting, I should say. So as some of you may know, I currently live in Manhattan, Kansas, in the Flint Hills.
The Little Apple.
Little Apple. We have Tuttle Creek up there, and 2 years ago we had a ton of rain. This is right before duck season opened.
Mm-hmm.
And Tuttle Creek got so high that they couldn't let more water out of the dam.
Mm-hmm.
And so the river that runs through Tuttle Creek was getting flooded. And Keaton and I and our buddy John did some scouting north of Tuttle in a town called Blue Rapids. And we're scouting for ducks. And we went to this walk-in hunting area that had a pond on it. So there's a creek that runs along the property. And we went out there to check it out, see if there's any ducks on this pond. Well, we noticed that with this flooding going on, there is a cornfield that wasn't harvested, and it was completely underwater. And so the best food for ducks, really, just underwater.
Like a pure buffet just sitting there pretty much, right?
Well, we get out there and there's ducks flying everywhere. Literally hundreds on hundreds of ducks in the air flying around this field. That's public land. And so this was prior to duck opener. And with Tuttle not letting water out, we knew that this field was still going to be flooded.
Mm-hmm.
And so we come back, I want to say it was duck opener for Kansas. Go out there, still, there's hundreds of ducks everywhere. We literally limited it out within, I don't even know, 30 minutes.
Wow.
They're mostly shovelers, but the ducks did it dirty.
Yeah.
They dove right into our decoy spread, and it was an amazing first hunt. Well, next time we go out, limit it out again.
God,
and it just kept going on. Every day we'd go out there, we'd limit out because there's a smorgasbord of flooded cornfields,
mm-hmm.
and ducks are just all over it. And that's probably one of the most exciting, fun hunting memories I've had in the past, because we never got skunked. I mean, who likes a skunked hunt? Nobody. And so it was just full of excitement, and
and it was a couple days too, just boom, 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 right?
I mean, I think we probably went out a dozen times, and we limited it out every time. It was cake, and
God damn,
not a whole lot of people knew about this public land either, and so that made it even better for us. And so
this is pretty much your little personal hotspot, right?
It was our honey hole. That's what we called it, is our honey hole. But that was probably one of our most exciting exciting memories.
Yeah. Well, I might try to piggyback this story.
Let's hear it.
And go off of my first time duck hunting.
Yes.
Yeah, you already know it. I'll let you kind of tell the story from your angle, and then I'll jump in.
We go out to Cheyenne Bottoms.
Yeah. Like I said, preface here is I've never gone duck hunting.
Austin doesn't have any of the equipment for it.
No.
He's got a shotgun, and a jacket. I had to supply the waders, which I had my own personal waders. Mm-hmm. Keaton had his own personal waders. And my brother-in-law had a pair of waders that the last time he wore them was 10 years ago, maybe.
They had some dust on them I was throwing off when I was...
They're in the attic. Anyways, we give them to Austin, and we're letting Austin know, like, hey, when you get in the water, I mean, the waders are going to compress against your legs. It's going to be kind of cold. It's going to feel a little wet.
Mm-hmm. And these weren't insulated either. Like, if you have insulated, it's a little bit different.
Correct.
But these were not insulated, so you guys were like, reminder, not insulated. It's going to be cold.
It's going to feel cold. It's going to feel... It might even feel wet.
Yeah.
But the day goes on, and...
Well, to start with that, I did walk out in the water, and I was like, wow, you guys weren't kidding. It feels really wet.
Yeah, I mean, that's normal. I mean, that's what it feels like when you're wearing waders. I mean, it's compressing against you. Feels cool.
And my dumb ass was like, well, all right. If that's normal, I'm in.
Well, hours in the marsh, trekking through water, hunting at different spots.
We got a good amount of ducks. Like it was a good day.
It was a really good day, especially for your first duck hunt.
Yeah, and that is the only thing that made this whole situation bearable. Was the fact that if we would have gotten skunked, oh man, I would have just been tired and skunked. And
I like to add that it was not a warm day either. It was probably in its 40s, 30s, would you say?
Easily 30s. I mean, it wasn't too bad, and we were walking around enough that
around, you were warm.
My upper body, I was feeling fine. Like especially as the day carried on a little bit.
The water was cold.
The water was freaking cold, man. It had. Because at this point, it was like, I want to say it. Well, I mean, I guess when does duck season start? Usually,
I mean, I think teal season starts in September.
Yeah, so
it's for sure in October.
But we did this was opening day, right?
I want to say so.
So it was kind of like that early in the season, and the water was already that cold.
Yeah,
like that's part of my memory of the story is it had to be later in the season because this water was friggin' ice cold, but nope, it was, I don't know, but.
Anyways, we finally get to some dry land where this underground blind was, and Austin gets on land, and all of a sudden he shakes his leg, and you hear a slosh, 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 slosh. His waders were full of water.
I was like, guys, the entire day I kept telling them, I was like, guys, I don't know, man. Like, I get what you're trying to tell me, that it's supposed to feel wet, but I'm telling you, I think my leg is wet. And they're like, no, dude, stop complaining. That's how it's supposed to feel. Yeah. And then, the second, I think I sat up on the blind because I think it was two of us were sitting there and the other was doing something. He was walking. And so we were both like, screw it, we're going to sit here for a minute. And I'm like, you sit up high enough, our feet were dangling. So I started just shaking my feet back and forth. I'm like, oh my God. And my feet were just numb. But like I said, I think we were shy of a limit for the 3-man that day.
Yeah.
So I mean, we got a nice batch of ducks, and so that definitely made it worth it. And overall the day was beautiful out too. Like, it was just the water was cold as hell.
Yeah.
So after that, I always joke with them, like, when we go duck hunting, we all, like, I think one of the first things any of us say when we walk out in the water is like, man, this water feels wet. So, yeah.
No, that was a funny memory right there.
My poor legs, but thankfully we were standing up and we're walking enough that I kept the blood flowing, or else I think I don't know. That was, my feet were.
You made it. That's all
made
that
it.
Matters.
And it made for a hell of a memory. It wasn't just like, wow, we had a good duck hunting day. No, it was like, no, we had a good day and some.
Yeah.
So.
I guess a awesome memory from this year, the buck I shot.
Oh yeah.
That morning, or actually it was early morning. I headed out to the property I hunt, and I had a really good feeling that I even made a Snapchat thing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get a deer no matter what.
Oh, even if I have to run it down with the 4-wheeler. Yeah,
exactly.
He was like, I think I've hardly ever seen you that confident. Like,
I just felt good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I go to my tree stand, and it's probably about 1:00, and just sitting there, no action for a few hours, except for a possum that was eating my corn down by the tree. But I had a buck walk by, a little 6-pointer, walk by, and after I did some rattle sequences, and I decided to hit a grunt, and still nothing. And I look out into the corn, or not a cornfield, but it was a tilled ag field, and I was sitting in a tree along a creek bed, so I had trees all around me, and I see a deer out in this tilled field, probably 150, 200 yards away. Couldn't see antlers on it, but just the way it was standing, and I don't know. I thought it was a buck, and so I decided to grab out my grunt call and grunt in its direction, and all of a sudden I see it move in my way, but I had some trees blocking my view, and so I couldn't tell if it was coming to me quickly, if it was coming to me at an angle. I just don't know. Anyways,
you just knew there was a deer there.
There was a deer there. I just wasn't sure if it was a doe or a buck. I had a good feeling it was a buck, but wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, a couple minutes pass, and that deer that I saw was 40 yards away from me on the opposite side of the tree line. And I saw antlers, and these antlers were not small. Anyways, I grab my bow, and it comes probably 30 yards, and it looks like it's getting ready to walk the other direction. I had a tree in front of me, and at this point, I was at full draw, and I didn't have a good shot on it. But I want to say that buck heard that possum that was eating that corn, and it got curious. I assume, I don't know. It came to that corn, I'll tell you that. The buck came to the corn, and for about a minute or so, still at full draw, the buck comes 7 yards, fling the arrow, and it went 40 yards and dropped. So
wow,
it was exciting. Thought I was gonna follow that tree stand. I was shaking so bad. But yeah, the biggest buck I've ever shot. So
yeah. And is that's your second buck, right?
My second buck. Yep, second
cool.
buck ever. Second buck ever with a bow.
Yeah.
I've never shot a buck with a rifle, I guess.
How many does have you gotten at this point?
At this point, I want to say 2 or 3.
Okay. Any of those rifle, or are you just pretty much a bow hunter right now?
Pretty much bow. Rifle. It's up in the air whether Keaton shot it or I shot it. I know.
Really?
I know the rifle I was using. The scope was out of whack, and so I want to say Keaton shot it, but I'm just telling myself I got it. I can't. That was my first deer ever. So
wait, so did you guys shoot same time kind of thing?
We shot same time.
Were you in the same spot too? It's just we're both shooting, and if it goes down, we're crediting both of us kind of thing, right?
Correct. Yeah.
How old were you for that?
We were either middle school or high school. I want to say middle school, probably 7th grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I figured you had gotten a deer before you even hit high school.
Yeah, that would have been it. My first buck was sophomore year of college at Butler.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, either sophomore or junior. I know it was at Butler.
Yeah. No, that's awesome though. Yeah, for whatever reason I thought you had gotten a deer back when you were way younger, before middle school, but no.
Would have been that doe.
Yeah.
It's either mine or Keaton's. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I guess you guys made the agreement. It's both yours technically, right?
Yeah.
Did you find 2 bullet holes in it or just one?
I think we only found one.
Oh man, that just makes you wonder more, don't it? If you would have saw 2, then it would have been all right, we both got it. But if there's just one, then it's
yeah.
Now the question is, was there only one bullet hole because only one of you was accurate, or did one shoot a little bit before, hit him, he dropped, and the bullet?
Like I said, I think the rifle I was using, the scope was out of whack.
So gotcha.
there's a good chance I missed.
Fair enough,
But
man.
I'm saying I got it.
Well, I mean, there's really no evidence going against you, so I guess you can technically say whatever you want. We just kind of have to take your word on it, don't you?
Exactly.
Well, coolio, man. Do you have any other stories you want to share, or you want to save those for a later date?
We'll save those for a later date. I've got a rattlesnake story I can tell later, and got some pig stories too.
All right, well, we'll save that till like a South Texas edition of
There you
Best
go.
Stories. Well, anyways, thanks for hopping on here with us again, and we'll catch you down the road.
All right. Catch you later.